Hello everyone, thank you for joining in into my video presentation today. Today I'm going to be going over a topic that I find very interesting within art history, and that is the artist Jacques Louis David and his neoclassical paintings. Today I'm going to go over really what neoclassical art is and how big of a significance it was in France. And although it made a huge impact in many countries in Europe, today I'm going to really just talk about its effect in France, as it was very significant due to the French Revolution that was occurring in the 1780s. Now, just to begin with you, before neoclassicalism took off in France, King Louis XV, it was during his reign where another art movement was taking place, and that was the Rococo style of art. Now, during his reign, Rococo was very popular, and this style of art revolved around ornamentation. It was very detailed, very decorative, and artists painted their paintings in a very unsymmetrical way. The way the figures were positioned, lots of curved lines and a range of light pastel colors. Now, looking at this painting created by Antoine Watteau, you can see there's no sense of symmetry or geometric way that the figures are painted or the landscape is painted. And Rococo was very associated with themes of love, youth, and playfulness. Just taking a look at this painting, all the figures are displaying some type of affection. They're painted in a very youthful way, also demonstrating playfulness. And the colors being used is a range of colors, but really towards light pastel colors. Now, this is a big example of Rococo, and as French King Louis XV reign ended and another king came into power, French King Louis XVI, his was a very controversial reign, as a lot of people questioned the way he ran the country, and a lot of people were not liking the monarchy at that time and were actually looking to establish more of a republic and wanted him to be out of power. But during his reign is where neoclassicalism really took off. And neoclassicalism drew inspiration from the Renaissance classicism. This was originally created in Rome, and it really stemmed from the ancient Rome and Greek style of art. Lots of Rome and Greek architecture is included in the painting styles, and unlike Rococo, neoclassicalism was very known for its geometric and symmetric paintings. The smoothness of the painting was very important to the artist, as they didn't want to show any evidence of brushstrokes. Now, taking a look at this picture of Napoleon during Napoleon's time, the French artist Louis David, he was a very big follower of Napoleon, and he was chose to paint a painting of him. And this painting represents Napoleon after his successful coup d'état, in which he orchestrated and took position of power in France. And this is Napoleon crossing the Alps. Now, this painting, just by looking at it, you can see where neoclassicalism really takes place. Number one, the smoothness of the painting. There's no evidence of brush strokes, and really the painting ties them together with his smoothness, with his bold colors, and the symmetry of it. He's positioned right in the middle of the painting, on top of the horse as well too. Now, neoclassicalism gained popularity during the Age of Enlightenment. It signified modernization, rational thinking, clarity of form, sober colors, strong drawing. These are all characteristics in neoclassical art that wasn't really common in other styles, especially the Rococo style, as neoclassical art was in opposition to it. Now, like I mentioned, the artist Jacques Louis David was one of his main contributors, and not only was he a very talented artist, but he was also someone who was very big into politics. As his artistic career took off, more influence he gained, he used that to play a hand in politics and use his paintings as a way to influence the public view. And he was not a big fan of King Louis the 16th, and he was someone that actually wanted him to be executed and valued more of a republic state, and he showed that through his paintings as well too. Now, as the revolution was building up, the years leading up to the revolution is where Louis David actually was gaining inspiration for one of his paintings. David actually played a part, again, in politics, but one of the paintings that really condemned a strong message in his political view was the lictors returning to Brutus the bodies of his sons. Now, the years leading up to the revolution, David made frequent trips to Rome, and he gathered ideas and inspiration for this painting by viewing Roman architecture. That was a big inspiration for him. Just looking at his painting, you can see the architecture in the background. This painting, he drew it over and over and over again to really get the figures correct, to get the symmetry of the painting, the geometric pattern by looking at the architecture by the floor. Everything's positioned in the way that it needs to be. And this painting tells a story from Rome. David was known to pick stories from Rome and Greece, uh, stories of heroism, stories of sacrifice, stories of virtue. And this story that is being played here is about Brutus, who was the leader of the Roman Republic, who was forced to condemn his own sons to death after finding out that they were part of a conspiracy to overthrow the republic and restore the monarchy. As you can see, Brutus is sitting right in the front, sitting in his turmoil, knowing that he had to make a very big sacrifice for the republic. And his son's bodies are being carried out in the back, and his wife and daughters are expressing their sorrow for the events that took place. Now, again, this was during the time of the French Revolution, and at that time, a lot of people wanted the execution of French King Louis XVI, as he was, a sign of the power of the monarchy, and he was not doing a very good job of that. And this painting was a symbol of civic virtue and republicanism, and this painting released to the public and really played a hand when it came to David's political ideas. Now, as the political events were taking place, there was a lot of public pressure to release his painting, as many paintings were not going straight to the public due to um, misuse of propaganda and not wanting to confuse the public with the messages that are being displayed in these paintings. Now, the second painting, one of David's other paintings, after his role in politics, in his involvement in the revolution, he was jailed, and during that time, he gathered inspiration for another painting, and this is the intervention of the Sabine women. And in this painting, it was really the message here was really for the people of France to reunite after the bloodshed of the revolution. In this painting, there's two sides to the story. There's the Sabine army, and there's the Romans. And the Romans marry the Sabine women, and they're the wives of the Roman soldiers, and their family and their people have now come to rescue them and are battling with the Romans. And in the middle, you can see one of the Sabine women, Hersilia, who is the wife of the Roman leader. Her father and her husband are on opposite sides battling each other, but she is stepping right in the middle to intervene to stop the battle. And her intervening really signifies a new direction and really the turning point in society, but also for the fate of Rome as well too. This painting explores the theme of civilization and how the fate of a society really depends on the heroic actions of a single individual. And really, the underlying message here is to really reunite France after post-revolution, with really the actions of a few people as well. And taking a look at this painting with how she's positioned in the middle with a Roman architecture in the back, another example of playing from Roman literature, Roman stories, another painting of heroism. But really, the elements are being played in here. Again, it comes to the classical of the Roman art. And then the third painting to go over is this one is another story from Rome and Greek, and this is Diana and Apollo killing Niobe's children. And as you can see, one thing about David was that he was very, very, very picky about his paintings, in which he wants to make sure there's no evidence of brushstrokes. All the paintings I showed today, they're very smooth. There's the drawing is very strong, as he does the drawings many, many times to really get the figures in position to where they need to be. And there's really a lot of symmetry in his paintings. The colors he uses are very vibrant, very bold as well too. They really pop out of the painting. And this is one of his paintings that he used for his second entry to win the Prix de Rome, and this painting did not help him receive that honor, and he didn't really respond well to the news, but this also had a very deep meaning to it as well too. In this painting, the Queen Niobe of Thebes shields her children from Apollo and Diana, and the reason why they're killing her children is because she insulted their mother, who was insulted the fertility of Latona, who is the mother of Diana and Apollo, by flaunting her pride and joy in birthing so many children. And as a result of her pride, Latona ordered her children, Apollo and Diana, to kill her children to really deliver that poetic justice and really teach her a lesson about pride. And you can see her shielding her children, and it results in all her children being dead and her weeping for the rest of her life into a tragic death. And this really, the story here is that having that pride really can cost you a lot of things at the end as well too, as the Greek gods were very known for being cruel and just and really teaching these harsh lessons. And these are just some paintings that I wanted to talk about because these paintings all had a deeper message to it. And a lot of them were during the French Revolution, but after that he was exiled from France and spent the remainder of his life in Europe in a different country and was still continuing his paintings. But he was one of the main contributors to neoclassical art. And again, neoclassical art was really stemming from ancient Rome and ancient Greek and really playing into part that classical artistic style of really strong drawing, the smoothness of the paintings, and really the symmetry and the geometric pattern of how these figures are positioned as well. And these are just some of the resources that I obtained some of these information from. But beside that, I do want to thank you for tuning into this video today, and I do hope you learned just a few more things about neoclassical art, the French Revolution, and its main contributor, Jacques Louis David.